Ta-da! What is happening out there in YouTube land, my friend? Yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. I hope all is well with everybody out there. And the title of this little quick video here is No Feel, No Music. And I always get asked on when I play these types of funky groove rhythms, what my right hand is doing and how many times are you counting this and how many times does this happen. My first response to when people ask if I'm counting or not is I tell them I count really basic. It's 1, 2, 3, or 4, but 100% is by feel, hear and feel. And the reason being is, like a lot of guitar players, myself, when I start thinking analytical, it becomes very, very square to me. But when I play by feel, it just flows right out. And over a long course of time, this is what, practicing, this is what I was able to build it up to, exactly what I wanted, exactly what I wanted to go. Anyways, if I'm going to be recording with somebody or doing a session, then what I do is I listen. I get the feel. That right there would help so many guitar players who are learning how to do a lot of syncopated rhythms, or learning how to count it. What's going to help them even more is just constantly listening to that type of a rhythm and getting the feel for it, so that when it's either hit the record button, or especially when it's showtime, 100% you're on, you're good to go, you're ready. So this type of playing, you might hear and see it where it's funk, blues, jazz. It's like a mix of all of this, And this is one of the styles of rhythms I used to hear growing up back in Chicago. And I lived close enough where I could walk to the blues and jazz clubs in the area. So this is what I was used to. This is what I would hear. And then during jam sessions, this is what we would pick up on. I'd watch guitar players who were better than me, who were smarter than me, and then I would jam with them, and I would try to soak up as much as possible. And my method of doing that was basically jamming with them. That would help a lot, because now both hands are in motion and I'm picking up right there what I'm supposed to be doing. And over a long course of time, as you keep working at it, get better and better, you're able to hone in on your chops and really be able to develop them. And we used to also have little boom boxes we would record ourselves. But in this day and age, you just grab your smartphone and record yourself and analyze what you're doing. So when it comes down to any type of a blues playing or a improvisation, you want to keep it as simple as possible. And my best suggestion for anyone who is also learning music theory, but at the same time they're playing, learn how to separate the two, so that when you're in your private time where you could sit down with the book, you could analyze it. But when you're at rehearsal time, especially for rehearsing for a show, then you want to get as close to as possible to the feel of it. Because when you do a performance, they're going to judge you by how you play, not what you say you could play. That is the straight up truth right there. You will be judged on what you could do, not what you say you could do. And so that being the case, the best advice I have is for people to constantly play. You're going to make mistakes in the beginning stages, but that's what your practice routine is, and in your private practice, especially in your private practice, because what you want to do is get the most control over your instrument, over your guitar as possible. And then when you get together in the rehearsal room, it's going over the songs. Now, if you are doing a rehearsal where it's part of a lecture you're going to give, then yeah, you do have to zoom in on the theoretical aspect of playing. But the reason why I say this is because I'm seeing a lot of these videos pop up lately of people who want to play blues style guitar. And one thing I'm noticing, everyone is going over like pentatonic scales. For instance, I played this. this groove in C sharp minor. And so basically I'm on the 9th fret. So basically I could do my pentatonic in this area. But I could also, since this is a C sharp minor pentatonic, I could also combine it with a higher octave E major scale. I could borrow those elements because if I wanted to play anything that was based off of a F sharp minor 7th, then to a G sharp minor 7th, well then I can do that. My middle finger and my pinky, or third finger, will be playing those notes. I'll explain that in a later video more in detail. But my point I'm making is how I approach the soloing is basically the same way a lot of us we'd call deemed as street musicians, because we were valedictorian at Sidewalk U, at Sidewalk University, and we learned everything playing by ear and jamming with people and from feel. And then later on we bought our books and we'll go over that. But because we were in situations that we had to perform, that was not the time to throw a monkey in a wrench that really did not have anything to do with the performance. Because we had to do like 3-hour sets, 4-hour sets, 5-hour sets, 6-hour sets. So we had to be efficient playing wise. And the only way you're going to be efficient playing wise is if you're actually playing. So, again, the most important thing in blues music, in any style of music, but because there seems to be an explosion on blues lessons and advice and tidbits and all that, and they're all great. So, take as much advice from those people as possible because they do have good information. But my input on it is never forget the feel. If you forget the feel, what it's going to sound like is you're playing chord progressions and scales and certain phrasings over those chord progressions, but it's not going to sound like music because that secret element, that secret ingredients is feel. So don't worry so much as a player when you sit in on jam sessions and open mics and things of that nature that maybe you don't know a whole lot of scales and Phrygians and Dorians and dominants. You could learn that at a pace that's comfortable for you, but don't worry so much about that, because if you have all this information in your mind but you don't know what to do with it, you just cluttered your mind with even more information that you don't know what to do. It's much better as a performer. What you're hearing is from a performer's point of view, by the way. It's much better that you know how to do with what you know. In other words, what you do know how to play, you know how to use it, and you know how to make it sound musical, because that is what is going to draw them in. Trust me on that one. You ask anybody, especially go back into Chicago, go down, if anyone's living in the Chicagoland area, go to Kingston Mines, go to those places and ask them. You might run into a lot of newer guys that are into music theory, went to Columbia College and Roosevelt University and have a jazz and blues program. But I could tell you one thing, back in the late 70s and the early 80s, back in our day when we were hanging out and jamming, doing jam sessions there, people would say, I don't know all those notes, I just play. I play by ear and I play by feel. And I'm going to tell you, talk with a lot of older. If you sit down and you get a chance to meet Buddy Guy, go down to Buddy Guy's Legends and see if you could sit down and talk and just ask him, Mr. Guy, I got a question. How much music theory do you know? Chances are he's going to tell you little to none. But he knows how to play. He knows how to make music. So, another advice I have, for anybody that does want to learn to play blues, learn its origins, and do not be surprised if it traces a lot to, Memphis, to Mississippi, Louisiana, and right into the Chicagoland area. And there's a lot of YouTube videos where you'll see Chicago blues, what it was like. Buddy Guy's blues club, a montage of all these videos. And just watch, and you will see, there's a video where there's people playing on Maxwell Street. It was a flea market, and they're literally just sitting on this, by the sidewalk, with their amps, and I guess they were plugged into the batteries of their cars. You know, they had the car running, had the however they hooked it up, and they just sat there and jammed right on the sidewalk, right in the street. And it wasn't that they had this effect pedal and this amp and that. No, they played. Because it doesn't matter what kind of guitar you have, what kind of pedal you have, what kind of amplifier you have. It's going to be what you could do with what you have. It's your feel. So, in closing, my friends, I hope this helps people. And like I said, learn as much as you can. And but don't forget the feel, because that's exactly what it takes to play. And if you are in areas where you want to take guitar lessons and you find a good teacher that you can connect with, by all means, sign up for those lessons. Support our music teachers. We don't want to see them go out of business. If you connect with a certain teacher and you want to sign up, go ahead. Because like I said, we want to support our teachers. Okay, my friends, in closing, here we go. Alright, my friends, until next time, you stay safe, you stay true. Leave in the comments what you think about this video. Rock on, and God bless you.